And I don't agree that the customer's always right. I never did. So they're dropping the F-bombs and I say, listen, if you keep this up, I'm going to have to hang up on you. And they would keep it up. And I said, okay, I'm hanging up. And I would hang up. And literally within 5 or 10 minutes, I would get a phone call back. How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I am joined by Jim Shorkey. And Jim, something I wanted to break down with you are the biggest sales myths that people believe. And so I have a little list here on my phone that I want to go through with you. But I thought it'd just be interesting to get your take on, are these sales myths? Are these not? And we'll break it down. So thank you guys. Again, if you haven't, we see a lot of you, probably 90% of you are watching our videos but have not yet subscribed. So please like and subscribe, and we're going to jump in.
And so just, I want to be clear about this. This is something on my mind. I have no idea, not even an inkling of what Derek is going to talk about today until just this minute. This is totally, for me, extemporaneous. I have no notes. I have no books. Derek is going to ask me questions, and I'm going to answer those questions to the best of my ability. And it turns out that that's very good for the brain of a guy recovering from a stroke, being able to speak extemporaneously and learning how to do that and whatnot. So I have no idea what Derek's going to ask me. And that said, these algorithms on the different platforms are what we're trying to manipulate with the likes and the subscribes and the views and whatnot. And the idea would be, and Derek and I were just talking about this before we've gone live here, is my goal is to help one person today. That's my goal. And if I can do that, that brings me great joy. Now, if that becomes 10, then that's 10 times the joy, or 100 or 1,000,000. And so by working the algorithms, we, Derek and I, have an opportunity to help one more person, or 2 or 3 or 4. So that's why it's so important that you like and comment. That's what I wanted to say, comment. You didn't mention that. Like is very important. The comments shows Facebook that you're engaging with us, and then we respond and we're engaging with you. And the more that those things go on, the more Facebook is going to show this message, or YouTube as well, or wherever else we are, which is YouTube,
LinkedIn,
and okay, all the
Twitter, all those.
Because
guys.
what the social media idea is engagement. It's getting people engaged.
Yeah. So guys, let us know what your biggest sales myth is in the comments below. What do you hear? And Jim, so the first one, I'll be interested. You might say none of these are myths, right? So the first one is the customer is always right. Is that a myth? Or is it true?
I wouldn't call it a myth. I just have said it's not true. The customer is absolutely positively not always right. And so we had to understand that. And sometimes they were wrong from the perspective of what they thought might be the best car for them. And by asking the right questions as a salesperson, we were able to make suggestions as to what might be a better fit. And when we did that, that was a good thing, because the client came in wanting A, and we said, yeah, I get that, but we have another option here called C. And so we would tell them why it was a better option based on what. So we did it. I had a process that I created whereby we would interview the client right up front. And it would actually hopefully be a sit-down interview, and we would ask their permission to do that. It took about 5 to 10 minutes. And we would ask them very clearly what was most important to them in their car relationship, not just buying the car, but owning the car down the road, a month, a year, 10 years. What was most important to them? So we tried to figure out what that was. And then the second aspect of that was, why was safety so important? Why was room so important? Why was gas mileage so important? And with that in mind, we then would be able to show them the car that they asked for, potentially, but also we might have another idea. This is something you probably hadn't thought of, and it's wow. And if we ask the right questions, then we could show them this car with a lot of enthusiasm. Remember, selling is nothing more than a transfer of enthusiasm. It's enthusiasm in here transferred to putting that enthusiasm in you.
Yeah, that's right.
And if I figure out what you really want, need, and your reasons why that make you emotional, then I can present the right idea. And it might be exactly what you asked for. You wanted a Honda CRV. You wanted a white one with black interior. We happen to have one because you saw it online, and that's what you want. We do the interview anyways, and it turns out that is the right car for you. And so regardless of what we show, we want to show it based on the interview. Does that make sense?
Yes. Makes a lot of sense.
The other side of that is, I had a very strong policy. The customer had a problem. We messed up. We made a mistake. But the client was not going to abuse me, and the client was not going to abuse my people.
Very good.
And so I put a stop to that pretty early on. They dropped 3 or 4 F-bombs. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I've been in my fair share of bars over the years. But after the 4th or 5th one, it's, hey, okay, let's stop the language. And they would keep pursuing it. So if you keep talking this way, now please don't misinterpret this. This is a very slippery slope. But at some point, I would say to the client, this is Jim Shorkey talking now. So this is what I did. It may not be the best thing for you, but this is what I did. And I don't agree that the customer's always right. I never did. So they're dropping the F-bombs, and I say, listen, if you keep this up, I'm going to have to hang up on you. And they would keep it up. And I said, okay, I'm hanging up. And I would hang up. And literally within 5 or 10 minutes, I would get a phone call back. And they would always start off with, Mr. Shorkey, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm wrong. And I would very quickly move on to, there's no necessity for you to be sorry or apologetic. Hey, I've made mistakes like this too. Let's just move on to fixing your problem. And I'm going to tell you right now, I made close friends with this idea in mind. And I ended up turning a customer into a relationship, okay? Because they could see that I wasn't going to listen to their BS, but at the same time, I was there to solve the problem. And so I would find the very best person that I could to help me out with solving this problem that they were very upset about. We messed up. I already said that. We screwed up, but we don't need to be abused over having screwed up. We're human beings. We make mistakes. We don't always handle things the right way. And maybe it was even a question of one of my team members talking to the customer the wrong way and dropping those F-bombs. And so I'm going to say to later on to the team member, hey, this isn't acceptable. We're not going to talk to our clients this way. Well, I don't want to hear he was. We're not going to do that. So we need to figure out a better way. And if you don't do that, Derek, you can't be part of my team.
Yeah.
So we learned how to resolve, it's called complaint resolution.
Yes.
But we're not going to be abused over it. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
it does.
That's what I believe in my heart. You don't have a chance to abuse my employees, my team members. You don't have that chance.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. Stop. And if you keep with that, I will remove you from the property.
Wow.
And I can tell you that when I did that, I don't know the exact numbers. It's a subjective thing, but I would venture to guess that 9 out of 10 times I made a very close friend, and they respected me for the fact that I stood up to them and said, no more. You're not going to talk like that in front of me and my people. No. Okay?
Yeah. Guys, you're just getting real, honest feedback and truth from Jim about what are these sales myths and what are they like. So number 2, here's one I hear a lot. You may agree or disagree. More leads equals more sales.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. No doubt. Selling is a mathematical thing. Selling is a mathematical thing. Life is a mathematical thing. It's all about probability. And so when we look at the math of the situation, what is the probability of this event occurring? So back to sales. If I talk to 100 clients in the course of a time frame, I expected to sell 30 cars. That would be considered a good job. If I got 40 cars, I'm a rock star. Pretty much that wasn't what I did. I was pretty good at getting high 20s, low 30s. But the bottom line is, if you look at the probability of that, means that 70% of the time I was not selling a car. Okay. And the idea would be, this is all about scalability. So if I talk to 10 people and I sell 3 cars, good job, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? I can't live on 3 cars. The commissions aren't high enough that I can pay my bills. So if I can increase that closing percentage to 4, that's better, but it's still not going to pay my bills. Okay. I need to get somewhere around 15 to 20. Okay. So 10 clients, 4 cars, pretty much max. And I think today they're more like 50%. It's a different world today in terms of the numbers that I was dealing with. But it's a probability game.
Yes.
So I talked to 10 clients. I'm a rock star. I sell 5 cars. Not enough. I got to get it to 20. So what does that tell you? I need more leads.
Yes.
I need more people. In order to get it to 20, if I'm closing 50%, I'm a rock star, I admit that. Then that means that I need 40. So where do I get these extra 20 from? That's where the prospecting, the phone calling, the advertising. For me being the dealer, the operator, I had to up my advertising to bring in more leads for my team.
That's right.
Because we needed a certain number of leads for us to be able to sell the right number of cars and pay our bills.
Yes.
And for the team to do that as well. I mean, if we have a team that's not making money, that's disastrous.
Yes.
They're going to be depressed. They're going to be sad. A lot of anxiety because they can't pay their bills.
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing. If you've ever been in a situation where you can't pay your bills, that's where you lose sleep. And when you lose sleep, you don't perform as well. It gets worse.
Yeah.
So it is a probability game. Once we understand the probability of selling a car, and let's say that number is 4 out of 10, let's use that number, then we know we have to get so many leads to get to where we need to get to. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it answers my
so
question.
more leads is more sales. Absolutely, positively, no question about it. And when you're running a dealership, we in our day, and this has changed today, but in our day, it was 10 cars per salesman. So we figured out we needed to sell 100 cars. All right, we knew that. That's the math. That's how the math works. 100 cars means we make a profit. 80 cars mean we break even. 60 cars means we lose money. Now understand that math. Think about that math. So I got the number dialed in at 100. I know that I'm going to sell 10 cars per salesperson. Okay. I got 7 salespeople. Problem. Now I know you guys out there today in Carland are probably saying, well, yeah, but we sell more than that. I'm sure that's true. Back in our day, it was 10 per salesman. Because you always had people that were selling the 15 to 20, but you also had people that were selling 4 or 5. They were new. We were training them, whatever. Or maybe they were in transition. But the number for us was 10 per salesman. So another way of looking at the math, I've got 7 salespeople. What do I need to do?
You got to get 10 salespeople.
I got to get 3 more salespeople.
Yep.
So now we put the ad in the paper. We're hiring, and we bring in salespeople. Now, mathematics, probability. If we interview 3 salespeople or 3 potentials for salespeople, are we going to hire all 3? No. We're going to hire 1, maybe 2. If we're really lucky, we'll get 3.
Yeah.
So if we're going to hire 3 salespeople, how many interviews do we need to have?
9 to 10, I would say.
See, it's all math.
Yep.
Everything is math in the business world. It's all math. It's all probability. So, yeah, we could try to get the sales per salesman up. That can be a little challenging.
Yeah.
So we felt that we needed to have 10 salespeople to sell 100 cars.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. All right. Myth number 3 of 5. Lowering your price is the best way to close a deal.
No, that is not true. It's all about value. You cannot price yourself into selling a car. You cannot do it. Because if the car in the customer's mind is worth 10 grand and you need 20 to do what you got to do, how the heck are you going to get it to 10? And if it really is 10, that's what they see as being the value.
Yeah.
So do you really think moving it from 20 to 19 is going to make a difference?
No.
20 to 18 is going to make a difference?
And they may not understand what the actual market value of the vehicle is.
Well, it doesn't matter. In their mind, it's only worth 10 grand. You have a no sell.
Yeah.
How do we make a sell? We've got to get their value assessment higher. How do we do that?
Well,
I'm going to answer it. How do we do that? Number 1 is training pre-sale. We have to train our salespeople how to create value for the client. That's number 1. Number 2, we go to ask the right questions. That's why that interview process is so very important. We got to find out, what does the client consider to be of value in their automobile purchase? We used to call those hot buttons. I think probably people still do in the lingo of the car business. Hot buttons. What are the hot buttons? What do they really like about the car? They may get tickled about the air conditioning system. We need to do a real good presentation on how our air conditioning system works really well and how we can adjust this and adjust that and what it does and how we can get the air in the back of the car and et cetera. They may be really tickled with the radio. Should we ask them at that point, what's their favorite music? Should we put that on?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
You're taking care of people.
Yeah. Well, what channels play that music? We should know that. Trunk space may be important, so we can show them how how the trunk is adequate for what they need. We need to create value. So we believe in a value upsell.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the customer's benchmark for the price. Here's our price. So we can lower the price very little. That's a fact. We can only lower it so far. The value, we have literally an infinitesimal control over the value. So if you ask the right questions and we show them how this car will take care of hot button number one, think about this subjectively in the customer's emotional mind. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let me show you the acceleration. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let me show you how the car brakes. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let me explain these safety features. Oh, that's really neat. You mean you can actually do this, that, the other thing? Yes, you can. Let me show you the trunk. Let me, and on and on. Let me explain the gas mileage to you. So we keep building value.
Yeah.
So it's a value up proposition.
Yeah.
And the problem with this, salespeople, is it, where are you getting your information from about the fact that Price sells cars or refrigerators or stereo equipment? I guarantee you nobody will be able to answer this question. Nobody. I can tell you where you get it from. When you call the client up and you say, hey, this is Jim Shorkey calling. Did I catch you at a bad time? Great. Hey, I saw you stopped in yesterday and I'm so happy and grateful that you did stop in. I want to thank you for that. And I saw that you were talking to Derek. I want to make sure, how did Derek treat you? Oh, wonderful. And it's more involved in this, but what can I do to sell you a car today? Sorry, Mr. Shorkey, you're late. We already bought a car. Oh, you did? If you don't mind me asking, how do you like it so far? Oh, we love it. So you're enjoying it? Good. I'm glad to hear that. And where did you buy it from? I bought it from Hillview Motors. Lovely people. That's great. Why did you buy it from Hillview Motors versus us? Where did we miss? Oh, they crushed your price.
Okay.
That's what they say every single time. They crushed your price. They gave me a way better price than you. I'm sorry to hear that. Grateful that you got a car, and we'll just have to try harder next time. But they never will ever say to you, they treated me better. They created more value. They hit all my hot buttons. They'll never ever say it's always price that sold them the car.
Yes.
And it's a fallacy.
Yep.
It's just not true.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Yep.
It's not true. I've had experiences where people will tell me after the fact, I'm somewhere, and they say, yeah, geez, I'm so happy. And they bought a car from us. And why? Because you guys had the best price in town. I know for a fact we did it. I know. I was running the deal. And I saw the prices they had elsewhere. And we did not believe in meet or beat every day. We didn't believe in that. We believed in value.
Yes.
We believed, like when a client said to me before pre-sale, well, and then believe me, I love Hillview Motors. Paul Schmizzy is a close friend of mine. So I love Paul. We're buddies. We go to lunch. He's a friend. But they will say to me, I got a better deal at Hillview. If you can meet the deal, then I'll buy the car from you. My comeback was, no, Derek, you don't have a better deal. You have a better price.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me talk to you about our service department. Let me talk to you about our team. Let me talk to you about the fact that I give you my name and my personal cell phone number. This is back. They don't do this anymore, but
This
there's
is
reasons
great,
why.
Jim.
But
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
that back then.
Yeah.
And if there's ever a problem, you can call me directly. Did you get that there? Did you get that from Hillview Motors?
No.
Geez, I wonder why. Here, you have it here. You have my picture on it. I don't want to hide from anybody. Here's my picture on the car. I actually put a picture of myself and my wife on the card.
Yeah.
So that if I was out somewhere, people would say, oh, you're Jim Shorkey, aren't you? Yes, I am. Hey, you mind if I talk about a problem I'm having? Absolutely not. You want to step outside? Let's talk about it. Give me your name. Give me your number. I'll work on this tomorrow. I'm having dinner with my wife. I never, ever felt badly about that.
Yeah.
But are you getting that down the road?
No.
So, Derek, you have a better price, but you don't have a better deal.
value.
I have a better deal.
Yeah. You come back, you have services you offer and different things that.
It's called Why Buy Here. I come back with Why Buy Here. So, yeah, price-wise, yeah, we may be a little higher. Have you ever had experience where you got the best price on something, Derek? The very best price.
Sometimes and often it's.
How'd it turn out for you?
The quality's not as good.
Wasn't a good experience, was it?
Yep.
It's like that vacation deal. And you show up and it's, we got the other ladies. Like you show up in the freaking place, a mess. The air conditioner doesn't work. You call down to the office, say, hey, the air conditioner's not working. All right, we'll send somebody up. And 2 days later, they show up. You're ready to leave. The service is just no good.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, customers, lock this into your brain. Do you think it costs more money or less money to provide great high-quality service? Do you think it costs more money or less money to provide great high-quality service? The answer. And so if we do, in fact, provide great high-quality service, the implication would be that our price might be a little higher than the guy up the road or down the road. And I always said that.
Yep.
So to me, if it was $1,000 higher, my reframing of that statement was, yeah, we're a little higher. I actually would use nonverbal communication. Yeah, we're a little higher. I admit it. But here's what we do.
Jim, this is great.
Isn't that, would you rather, I'm talking to you, Mr. Customer, would you rather pay a little more money to get the great service or save a lot of money and get terrible service? Guess what? The terrible service lasts forever. The higher price is a very minor issue. Maybe we can do some negotiating, Derek. So we're $1,000 higher. I definitely can't get to their price. Point blank, I can't do it. But if we could get together in the middle somewhere, would you be open to that idea?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Done deal.
Yeah. Man, this is so good.
I got him.
This is so good. Jim, why don't we take this into a part 2 where you break down some more sales myths? I feel like you gave so much that I want to give people space to digest it. So you went through, just value versus price. You went through more leads versus sales. You really hit just some myths that I see a lot out there in the sales world of what people talk about. Guys, thank you. And stay tuned for part 2, where Jim dives into even deeper sales myths. You're going to have to wait to see his reaction.
He may stump me.